The purpose of today is to announce the rollout of the Sarpy County DUI Task Force in conjunction with the You Drink, You Drive, You Lose Labor Day Drunk Driving Crackdown. This is something we've been working on for several years. I want to introduce some people that have been integral to getting this done. Chief Scott Lyons from Papillion, Sheriff Jeff Davis from Sarpy County, Chief Mark Elbert from Bellevue, Trish Freeman from the Sarpy County Attorney's Office, Andrea Frazier from MAD, Chris Wagner from Project Extra Mile, and some of the people that have actually done a lot of the work on the ground, Captain Brian Wall from La Vista, Tom Dargy from Bellevue, and Dennis Savoda from Sarpy County. It's one of the primary missions of law enforcement to eliminate tragedies and protect people. We've been working for several months and have had an idea for several years to put together a comprehensive multi-agency DUI task force, and we're there now. The task force is made up right now of the Bellevue Police Department, La Vista Police Department, Papillion Police Department, and the Sarpy County Sheriff's Department, along with MAD and Project Extra Mile. We also have support from the Sarpy County Attorney's Office. We're going to look at expanding our membership into the medical and educational field in the coming months after we get up and get rolling. Part of the inspiration for this countywide task force comes from a letter received from the mother of a DUI victim, Christine Chrisman of Norfolk. Her son, Paul White, and his friend, Dan Muller, were killed by a drunk driver in 2007. We have countless other tragedies and incidents that have haunted us here in the metro and especially in Sarpy County. Who can forget the tragic death of Dr. Adam Smith in 2012 on the first day of school at 118th and Harrison? He was killed by a drunk driver that was almost 4 times the legal limit, and it was only 8 o'clock in the morning. And he had his 2 little boys in the car with him. Both of them survived, but one of them still suffers from injuries from that crash. And it's just something that sticks with us. And I know Captain Wall was one of the leading investigators on that case. What's different about what we're doing today from other deployments where we've gotten together and used other agencies at a checkpoint is we've established a confederation of law enforcement agencies to work collaboratively to create an omnipresence for law enforcement in Sarpy County. What this task force is going to do is conduct regularly scheduled operations in all areas of the county. If the operation is in Bellevue, for example, expect to see not only Bellevue police officers, Sarpy County Sheriff's deputies there, but also black and whites from La Vista and Papillion. That goes for all jurisdictions. If we're out in the county, you'll see the local police agencies working with the Sheriff's Department. We'll be increasing the number of patrols, setting up DUI checkpoints, making high-volume traffic stops, multi-agency saturation patrols. We're going to use local and social media to try to reach drivers to reduce the number of drunk drivers on our roads. If you're drinking and driving, the Sarpy County DUI Task Force will be out to find you, arrest you, no warnings, no excuses. You're going to face jail time, fines, loss of your driver's license, towing fees, other DUI expenses that will be incurred. Could be $10,000 to $20,000 in the long run with a DUI conviction. Not to mention the humiliation among your family, your friends, and your workplace. We're funding the initial operations with overtime reimbursement requests from the Nebraska Office of Highway Safety, who's also one of our partners in this effort. We're going to submit project requests in 2016 to NOHS to firmly establish a funding source and to keep this thing going for the years to come. We've modeled what we're doing after several agencies, not only in the Midwest, but also on the West Coast. They've been very successful with a comprehensive approach, not just checkpoints, not just saturation, but education, enforcement, prosecution, and also rehabilitation. Because in Sarpy County, we are a little bit different than any other county in the state, where our county attorney's office does have the ability to work with some of these offenders with diversion. So we want to take this holistic approach and make our roads safer, and that's really the goal of what we're doing, combining resources. We have a history in Sarpy County working together with the law enforcement agencies. This is one of the true missions of our agencies, is to go out and work together to do this, and I think this is going to be a great example of that. With that, I want to turn it over to Sheriff Davis. As part of this also are options to not drink and drive, and Sarpy County has been a leader, the Sheriff's Department, with that, and he's got a program that we're going to tell you about.
Thanks, Chief. I just want to spend a couple minutes and remind you that each year, this year in particular, it's going to begin on Black Friday and continue through December 31st. You can purchase a eye care cab fare card. Some of the money that Chief Lawson talked about, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, if you think about it, you simply purchase a credit card from the cab company, and if you buy it in that time period, you get a 20% discount. They're great gifts to give to each other, to your children, to give yourself in case you ever need a cab. This card works just like a credit card in the cab, and you get 20% off. We're really pushing that this year. It's been very successful in the past. I want to thank the cab companies because they're underwriting that 20% discount. They feel strongly, obviously, that they'd much rather take you home than have one of our cruisers take you to our jail facility. So reiterate again, I Care Cab Fare. All you have to do is contact the cab companies. You can buy them online. They'll send them to you. You can go by and pick them up. You get a 20% discount. There's not a better gift out there to give your kids or one of your college student at that moment when they decide, you know what, maybe I've had one too many. They usually think, you know, I think I can make it home. But if they remember they got this card, it only works in a cab. All they got to do is call a cab. They're there. Their average response time is about 20 minutes. Use that card, and you could save a lot of heartache, a lot of cash, and get home safely. Thank you.
On behalf of Mothers Against Drunk Driving and the family and victims that we help support, I just want to thank law enforcement for everything that you do. Every night and day you go out and you put your lives on the line and really do support making sure that our roadways are safe. So thank you. Last year in 2014, there were 79 fatalities due to impaired driving. Impaired driving is 100% preventable. What we ask as an organization is that you plan ahead. If you're going to consume alcohol, designate a sober driver. If you have been or are a victim of impaired driving, please know that Matt is here to support you. And again, just remember, 100% preventable crime. Thank you.
I'd first like to thank all of our law enforcement partners and our community partners in the County Attorney's Office for supporting this effort and joining forces together for such an important cause. Operationally, what we plan on doing, especially with this first Labor Day weekend deployment, we're going to get together with Sarpy County, La Vista, Papillion police departments, and we're going to work together throughout the entire county. So citizens are definitely going to see this task force in action over the Labor Day holiday. I think it's important also to note that the goal of this task force is not simply enforcement, it's also going to be community outreach, education, and the prevention piece is key. And our research has proven, and statistics have shown with other task forces across the country, that we don't want to see an increase in DUI arrests. What we want to see is a decrease in DUI arrests, because that's going to tell us people are making better decisions. They're using that cab ride home, or they're making other arrangements for a designated driver prior to consuming alcohol. Typically, when somebody plans on doing the right thing, but they have that first beer, then that second beer may go down a little better, and next thing you know, they're getting behind the wheel of their car. So they intended on getting home safely, but then the decision-making process changes as we consume alcohol. So our goal will be high volume of traffic stops, education. If we may stop a car for a stop sign violation and that person is not drinking and maybe they've got an intoxicated passenger, we're definitely going to encourage that person to continue doing what they're doing, maybe provide some educational material during that traffic stop, and probably cut them loose with a warning. But again, our goal is not to increase the volume of arrests. Our goal is to prevent tragedies from happening. Chief Lawson mentioned the costs of a DUI. That's huge. But I think the huge cost is lives, innocent lives that are affected by DUI drivers, whether it's the driver themselves or an innocent person that they may hit and kill as a result of a poor decision. So again, I want to thank everybody involved. I want to thank you all for coming out. I think it's really an important effort to share with the public and the citizens understand the goal is not to increase our arrests. Our goal is to prevent people from making poor decisions and saving lives. So I'll answer any questions if you have any.
How often will this task force be out there? Will it be weekends, certain times of the year? Will it be every week?
And that's still some logistical things we're going to work out. I think our ultimate goal would be for at least once a month. And and like Chief Lawson said, we're going to definitely use social media. We're going to, if we have some information that comes in through social media or through a citizen about an event, there may be something where whether it's pre-prom or post-prom kind of things, we definitely want to impact those types of situations where alcohol is typically consumed. Perfect example is Labor Day weekend. It's the final holiday of the season. A lot of times you're going to have a lot of block parties, picnics, and things like that. So we want to make sure that folks know that we're out there. I envision probably at least once a month, and that could have changed based on conversations we have with highway safety when it comes to funding sources. I think it's important to also note that the funding mechanism for these operations will be based on each department alone. This won't be a global funding source. We'll be each responsible for our own funding through whether it's grant or other avenues for funding. So,
was this task force put together because of increase in DUI cases, or just something you cited?
Not necessarily. We have not seen an increase, at least in La Vista, I can speak for. The goal is, there's a perception out there that maybe drinking and driving isn't a problem per se, but we've learned from the letter the chief received from a victim's mother that it is, and it's a very important thing for us to take part in. So I think it's important that we increase that perception. Also, statistics have shown if there's a task force of officers out, say we have 6-8 officers out, people are going to know that because we're going to put it out on social media. We're going to put it out hopefully with our media partners, and people are probably going to be prone to make better decisions that way. And if we don't have any DUI arrests on that particular operation, I think we've probably done our job. And also if we have no crashes as a result of a DUI drive.